by Cronenberg. Has anybody seen that? Am I in for a
No, I've
treat?
heard of it.
It's okay.
Is it going to mess with my head like Videodrome did?
Probably not. Not
No
as well. I mean, it's maybe.
No stomach vaginas?
No, I don't
Wait,
think
what?
so. Yes,
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 that's a
Tim.
thing.
Go watch Videodrome right now.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay.
I don't think Tim will like it.
Probably not.
Videodrome. Okay. All right.
It's good for you.
It's good for me. That's always good to know.
I love the packaging of the DVD too.
Yeah.
It looks like
it looks kind of like a VHS tape. Here.
Oh, a Beta.
Oh, beta?
Yeah. Let me see.
It's been a while since I opened mine. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's really cool. Long live the new flesh.
Yes.
Nice. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Three Geeks podcast. I'm going to start the podcast off. What was that, Mike?
I was just gonna say, just for anyone who doesn't know what "Long live the new flesh" means, that's not like a call sign or anything like that. That doesn't mean anything. It's from a movie. It doesn't.
What do you mean? It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean like.
Oh, I think it means something.
Or anything like that.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it means we're all gonna get test vaginas and pull out weird guns out of them and end up in a train car for some reason.
Yeah, it means that. Just thought
What a transition, but it's only here on the Three Geeks podcast that you go from that to a little more serious. And I want to take a second before I pass this off to Dan and Mike to talk about Sonny Chiba to mention a friend that's passed in the podcasting community. Somebody that I was privileged enough to do Behind the Box with on the Teen Snobs channel with Mick and Casey and Gerard. And the guy's been friends with Mick for 25 years. And I just had a small sliver of, getting to know this guy. And such a great guy, always positive, but he succumbed to his battle with cancer a few days ago. And I just want to send out all my love and support to his family, to Mick, and to that whole family. Lenny was a great guy, and there is a GoFundMe to help support his wife and son because they're on their own now to kind of help with his college. So I will be sharing that on my social medias. So please, send your love, support over that way because he was a great guy, really fun to talk to about movies, and he wasn't on the show a lot for obvious reasons, but when he was, it was a breath of fresh air. It's so much fun to talk to, and Lenny, you will be missed. And the small amount of time I got to know you, buddy, it was fantastic.
Len's laughter was contagious. There's no other way to say it. He, his smile filled the room, and when you talked with him, you couldn't help but smile back. And so, no, his loss is huge, and I agree. My condolences to his family. Please donate to the GoFundMe. It does help for his son's college fund. So it's an amazing thing. You'll be able to help this young man move forward because he has an incredible loss. Yeah.
One of the things I love about doing this podcasting, especially over the last year, is we've really been involved with an amazing community, and he was a part of that, and we just lost one of our own. So rest in peace, Lenny. And again, send your love to Mick and his family, and hit that GoFundMe because it'd be like me losing Max because Lenny and Mick have known each other that long. So it's just it's really sad. And I love Mick and I love those guys, Teen Snobs family. And guys, go ahead and talk about Sonny Chiba.
So. Try and bring this up a little bit now. Sonny Chiba has passed at 82, but and instead of being sad about it, look at this dude's life. I mean, it's amazing. He what was fifth of 5 children. Kind of wandered around college for a while until he went to sports college, which is what they call it in Japan, which I think is kind of weird. But Was picked up by a talent thing to do some TV shows way back in the day in the mid 60s. Did some strange sci-fi stuff like Messengers from Space, which I think is free on YouTube. Go check that out. Started his own karate training dojo to make basically stuntman for his own movies. His breakout role was the Street Fighter, which is one of my favorite martial arts movies. Just because he rips some dude's junk off and throws him out a window. It's beautiful. But Chiba was kind of the opposite of Jackie Chan in that Chan used a whole lot of comedy and stuff, which really worked for him. Chiba wanted to show, at least in the Street Fighter and the sequels to that, the brutality of actual fighting, which worked for him. Then he ended up in a bunch of period pieces, some more sci-fi stuff. Ended up on Kill Bill. He had an amazing career, and I hope he left this world fulfilled. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Sonny Chiba was a really fun personality to see for, like you said, many different reasons, Dan, than Jackie Chan, just because there was an intensity to it. And like you were talking about Street Fighter, it's like, it's one of the main reasons I picked up this years ago, this sixth film thing that has Street Fighter, Return of the Street Fighter, and Street Fighter's Last Revenge on it. And so, yeah, you watch those films and you can see that action, like that whimsical action side to him, certainly, but also there's an intensity there that he brought to a lot of those scenes and to that story, especially since it's a very straightforward story. I'm not as familiar. I didn't know all that stuff about him, building a school dedicated to stunt work. That's really cool. But yeah, of course, Kill Bill. Is the sound okay? Am I coming through clear? Sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm asking.
You are.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Jason, use headphones.
But also what I really loved too was after seeing that he passed, everyone's like appreciation really come out. Of course, Tarantino had a very big affinity for him. That's why he incorporated him into Kill Bill. But like, I found this clip of Keanu Reeves when he was promoting John Wick on like a speaking, a press junket in Japan, and they surprised him with an appearance from Sonny Chiba, and Keanu's face just like lights up, and he is like extremely humbled to be there, just sitting there asking questions to Sonny Chiba. And it's really a sweet clip. So I can't say anything more that you already elaborated upon. Great performer, great, stunt work and martial arts work, and a great staple of pop culture overall. So I'm going to pour out some sake for Sonny. It's not warm, but here's to you, Sonny. So
he was one of those actors that no matter how cheesy like the movie was in, and he had to know that some of those were cheesy as hell, he would put his all into it. So like even like he played Yubei Yagyu like I don't know how many times in different flicks. Not all of them were good.
Yeah.
but he really tried.
Would you say he's the Leslie Nielsen of martial arts movie people?
Yeah, maybe.
Like a dude who came at it with a more dramatic angle. That's what made it entertaining and funny.
Partly yes.
I've gapped most of Sonny Chiba, but I plan on fixing that here very, very shortly. I've seen Kill Bill, obviously, but I haven't seen the Street Fighter. I really want to see the Street Fighter.
You want to see the Street Fighter?
Don't you dare do a remake revolution on it, because there's no replacing Sonny.
Oh,
just saying.
Speaking of, next month at Monroe Comic Fest, we will be doing the Street Fighter remake revolution. Just kidding.
Starring Sonny Chiba, of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can replace everybody else around him, but I think Dan and Mike are going to have a problem if you take Sonny out.
Special appearance by Peter Cushing.
Or it's fine. Maybe just don't do the. I guess you can recast him, but just don't do the creepy AI thing that they did. Yeah, for Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Well, we started the show off kind of sad, but I went on my second date yesterday, and we have this thing where we like to go to bookstores. And I really like Emily. She's a great person. I know she's watching now. So the second date was fantastic. I will always remember the elevator. And moving on. So
Okay.
we were looking around Barnes and Nobles.
No. You don't throw something out like that and then be like, hey, so here's a book.
Oh yeah, I do. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I know that's how you roll. That's not how the rest of us roll.
Forget the Hardy Boys. We have an Obama Biden mystery. I'm not going to get political. That's not what this is about. This is about why, who, what. This it's a thing.
Is it like My Fellow Americans? Because I'm kind of on board.
Let me see if I can pull up a synopsis, because I read the back of this book, and if it wasn't $15, if it had only been $10, I would have bought in the first one.
$15.
No, there's two of them, right?
It's
a sequel.
Yeah.
Hope Rides Again. Yeah.
That's my favorite cover. That's what caught our eye, was that right there.
What else has Andrew Sheffer written?
I looked him up earlier. He's he does like parody satire stuff. Like he wrote a parody of 50 Shades of Grey or something.
Oh, okay. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, it was 49 Shades of Turquoise, right?
Or
no, I was kidding.
You might actually be right. I think he did. I think he did one about Trump before Trump was officially elected. Was like it's something like I can't remember what it's called, but it's got like an action movie like cover on it. But it is meant to be like making fun of him. So he like lampoons everything.
Nice.
Or is it?
Vice President Joe Biden and President Barack Obama team up in this high-stakes thriller that combines a mystery worthy of Watson and Holmes with the laugh-out-loud romantic chemistry of Lethal Weapons, Murtaugh, and Riggs.
Oh wow! Let's just rip off everything in our it's like you always avoid the books that are like in the vein of Tom Clancy and somebody else. It's like, great.
You got to keep reading the description though for Hope Never Dies. That's something.
Oh, you said you want me to continue? I'll read the rest.
You got to read the rest. You got to read the next paragraph because they got to know what the story's about. And there's one particular nickname in there in particular that I'm like that's wonderful.
Vice President Joe Biden is fresh out of the Obama White House and feeling adrift when his favorite railroad conductor dies in a suspicious accident, leaving behind an ailing wife and a trail of clues. To unravel the mystery, Amtrak Joe reteams with the only man he's ever fully trusted, the 44th President of the United States. Together, they'll plumb the darkest corners of Delaware, traveling from cheap motels to biker bars and beyond, as they uncover the sinister forces advancing America's opioid crisis. Part noir thriller and part bromance, Hope Never Dies is essentially the first published work of Obama-Biden fiction, and a cathartic read for anyone distressed by the current state of affairs.
Yeah, I saw the Goodreads ratings. It's like people are saying like, yeah, it's sweet, but it's also hilarious to think that this is what they do in their downtime.
Yeah,
or what they did in their downtime, because now one of them's pretty busy. So
yeah,
for lack of a better term, one of them's got a lot of shit on his plate.
One of them's got some things to do. The other one's, making appearances. Yeah, Amtrak Joe. Love that nickname. That cracked me up.
It's creative. Like
going from biker bars to cheap.
It feels like it's in the vein of, that. I mean, I haven't read it, but it feels like, just based on the pitch, like that Pride and Prejudice and zombies and like that Seth Graham-Smith type of like alternate history, but funny somewhat funny.
I'm hoping that if this is written in like the same vein and along the lines of something like a Hardy Boy style mystery, that it's written in like the 1940s, 50s vernacular, and one of them is calling each other chum, and
as long as they keep Chet, the fat one.
Yeah, you got to have a third one there to get randomly abducted and knocked over the head, knocked unconscious. They have to go keep saving every episode.
If only he wasn't so large, he would have made it through the door faster.
Poor Chet got fat shamed every book.
Yes.
Apparently, on a tangent, apparently on the Trump book, it's confirmed that Ted Cruz is in fact the Zodiac killer. He was tried and convicted in this alternate history.
Okay, so on Amazon, Hope Never Dies has about a 4.5 star rating from 1,054
Wow.
people. So okay, I might have to give that a try.
It's only $2 on the Kindle.
Yeah,
Really?
I saw that. It's $2.99 or something. Yeah, it's
Dan just purchased it in the cart.
I love how the second book is all about how they're just chasing down, Obama's lost BlackBerry.
cell phone. Yeah,
Buy now with one
yeah.
click. There we go.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm gonna go read this. So I'll see you later.
See you later, Dan.
They're racing through Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. That could be interesting.
All right, so I watched Black Christmas, the original, finally, and
I told you that like years ago.
having only seen the first remake, I haven't seen the second remake, but I've only seen the first remake, and then I went back and watched this. It's not even the same movie,
No.
And I didn't know.
Movie? I missed the movie.
Oh, Black Christmas. I didn't know that that's the line where the call is coming from inside the house. I didn't know that was it.
Well, you've also got When a Stranger Calls and a bunch of other things like that too. When a Stranger Calls 2 is really good because the guy's learned to paint himself into the wall, so he really is in the apartment.
That is a legit scary moment too.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it is legit scary.
Anyway, yeah, Black Christmas. Jason.
Yeah, Black Christmas, great.
Sorry.
Because
I'm just gonna derail every review you do today. It's gonna be fun.
Because who doesn't love silence on a podcast? That's always good.
That's fantastic.
We'll fix that in editing. It's okay.
We'll fix it in post. That's what we say on our show all the time. We make a mistake on something, and Kathleen and I are like, "We'll fix it in post."
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can I do that again?
Can I have another one?
Have you guys watched What If?
No.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. Dan, do you care if we talk about it?
I don't care. I thought we were talking about Black Christmas.
Oh, we're still talking about Black Christmas?
Shit.
What if we were talking about Black Christmas?
Yeah.
Ask yourself.
So Black Christmas isn't a
Max.
Tyler Perry or Ice Cube movie. No, but I would totally see that.
I would watch it if it was a Tyler Perry movie with Ice Cube in it.
Yes.
But gangster
sure I
Ice Cube, not the
not
the Are We There Yet?
Angry police captain Ice Cube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where he gets to show off the snarl on his face and mean it. The NWA Ice Cube. Let's bring that back.
JT, you're going to replace John Saxon with Ice Cube? What is wrong with you?
I'm just talking about if they remade it with Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a little bit worse, but okay.
Yeah, that's worse with John Saxon as Ice Cube. Do you keep the fellatio exchange in there?
But you need Ice Cube
to
get me to watch a Tyler Perry movie.
Relatively sure nobody will know what that means.
I've never seen Black Christmas, and I don't know any about what we're talking about. So I'm just riffing off the top of my head, thinking about Tyler Perry movie with Ice Cube in it. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, Tim, Black Christmas is
I knew that was coming.
Is one of the best horror movies ever made.
See, that's why I haven't watched
according
it.
to me.
I'm not big into horror movies, so.
It was directed by Bob Clark, who you may know from A Christmas Story. And Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, which you might also want to watch. I don't know. But
in case you haven't learned that lesson.
Yeah. Because, you might want to put a zombie on a couch and, pretend he's your buddy and then get horrified when he comes alive with all of his friends and kills you. Anyway, Black Christmas is genuinely creepy as shit.
It is.
In several parts. You never actually see the killer. Kind of spoilers. And one person is just never found dead at the end. It's great.
Yeah, it's
But
got
that
a pretty good cast too for that time. Olivia
Oh,
Hussey
yeah.
and Margaret Kidder.
Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder.
Also John Saxon as the policeman. Can never get enough John Saxon in a movie. But yeah, it's really fucking good. I watch that every Christmas along with Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I love Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes.
But do you love
Naughty.
the first one or part 2?
Both
Both.
for different reasons?
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, the first one doesn't have Garbage Day, but it does have the kids going down the hill and getting his head chopped off with an axe that
is
rolls
pretty
down
fun.
beside him on the sled. That's so fun.
I do like the first one better because the second one is only like 20 minutes of a new movie.
Yeah, but those eyebrows, man.
But I want to take a second and talk about What If. What If? So the first episode to me was okay.
Mhm.
It's like the first Marvel thing where I'm kind of like, because you guys know I'm huge in everything they've done. But the second episode was on another level of comedy and just awesomeness. And missing Chadwick Boseman really struck watching that episode. The premise of the second episode is if T'Challa had become Star-Lord. And it is great. Mild spoilers spoilers going forward. Dan, if you want to take your headphones off, if not, then
Not particularly.
We're gonna be way past mild spoilers if we're gonna talk about this.
we're going to talk about it because Thanos, Josh Brolin was the second highlight of this episode.
I'm so glad that a genocidal maniac's motivation was undone by a rational talk with what I think probably was a 12-year-old. Great storytelling.
But it's T'Challa.
It's funny, but it's funny and it works for what that show is. But I'm just like, cool. That could have all been avoided if he just talked with a rational 12-year-old.
Well, no, not any 12-year-old. Had to be T'Challa.
Had to be T'Challa.
Had to
Who
be him.
convinced him by a reasonable argument is what he said.
A reasonable argument.
I mean,
that sounds like genocide. No, it's not. It would have been random. So it's not genocide.
Going back to our Star Wars talk, this is why I don't get my high philosophical learning stuff from film. Anyway,
well, yeah, you're not going to get that from there.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny though that throughout the rest of the episode, that every time they showed Thanos, he was trying to talk to somebody else about why it wasn't genocide.
I know.
They showed him at the ending scene where they're starting to fade off into the credits. He's sitting there at the bar, wherever he was at. I don't remember who he was talking to, but all you can hear him say is, "Oh no, it wasn't genocide."
Yeah, I will admit it does have kind of that James Gunny sense of humor that the Guardians movies have, and it works. And I'm glad they gave Chadwick something to do to be funnier, show off his funny side a little bit more. So because I like him a lot as T'Challa in the general Marvel stuff, but he's very stoic and very regal, and that works. He works with that well. But I'm glad we got to see him be like really funny.
Yes, but he was still the T'Challa we know, with the influence of Michael Walker's character. I'm sorry,
Yondu.
Mary Poppins, y'all. I do have to say though that we need to take a second to talk about the fact that the Collector was now ripped as all hell.
Yeah, he was the new Thanos.
Yeah, that dude. All of a sudden, he turns around. He's got that big furry coat open. It was like, he had like a 23 pack. Wasn't even a 6-pack. It was like a 23. That dude was just ripped.
And that he was badass enough to take down not just Thor and Captain America, but also Hela. Like,
yeah,
like he took down all.
Yeah, when he put on Hela's helmet, I was like, oh. Okay.
Is it still Del Toro?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. They brought back a lot. Like they brought back Kurt Russell for one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think these What If episodes are gonna combine at the end into one story. But episode 2 was way better than episode 1. Episode 1, there was a lot of things that I just didn't think made sense.
it was very by the numbers. Like this one felt like it had a lot more heart in it. Maybe because Chadwick was involved and it's his last thing he's ever going to do for this franchise. So it felt a little bit more heartfelt in this too.
Yeah,
and also I just like the space stuff more than the general, superhero stuff.
Yeah, it was. What if the first episode seemed like it was Marvel trying to figure out what they wanted to do with the show, and the second episode was them hitting the nail right on the head? Because I think they really knocked the second episode out of the park with the humor and what this show should be, which is a Twilight Zone-esque version of the Marvel universe.
Well, we're gonna keep going crazier because I think that's maybe it is that they're just going to get crazier and crazier with each episode because we're getting Marvel zombies in one of these episodes. So
yay!
And I think it's going to get it up, leading up to the point, of course, of the multiverse of madness.
Yeah,
and each episode has the Watcher introducing it, and he's talking about seeing these different things and these different episodes, and that all kind of ties into some of the things that have already happened.
Yeah,
even with Loki, and now we're
Yeah, sorry. Beginning of the first episode, they referenced the thing with Loki happening, and then now we're seeing the ramifications of it.
Well, also in the original What If comic books, I know, the Watcher's sort of like your host. He's like the Rod Serling of each issue, and so he always stresses non-interference. But then I'm they're gonna make him interfere at one point. They can't just have him. Jeffrey Wright wouldn't sign on for this to be okay, I get to do 5 lines of dialogue for narration. Give me something more. Or maybe he did, because maybe the paycheck's just that good. They'll be sure, I'll just narrate 5 lines of dialogue, no problem.
Well, I think even for that, even if he only gets the 5 lines of dialogue, it may be that they're planning something in the future for him outside of What If, and where they can bring him back. Because you look at some of these characters, Marvel's done that over and over again, where they bring somebody in, they do a little bit here, they do a little bit there, they kind of tease their appearance, and then boom, there's something bigger down the line for them. And I think that might even be the type of thing we're looking at with that.
I will say too, the sound-alikes they get for some of these characters, they're pretty the first episode was fine. It was fairly average, but the guy they got to play Steve Rogers sounded close enough to Chris Evans, and the guy that got to play Drax in this one sounds like Batista. So
yes, I didn't know that wasn't Batista. Fantastic job. I know they're bringing in some veteran animation voiceover actors to do some of these voices too.
Mm-hmm. Clancy Brown will be doing everything.
I loved seeing Heist Nebula too. I love that this was basically all just one big heist as well. It was like the Ocean's 11 of Marvel stuff.
Right?
Kind of.
This episode might be my favorite of the Marvel TV so far, which I've liked it all, but I think this just an episode of television. I think the second episode just really, really got me. Oh, well, Ant-Man. I saw that in there's a screenshot of Ant-Man going towards Thanos's behind, so maybe we will see.
So what I'm looking to see right now is I'm trying to figure out who actually did Drax's voice, because I'm wondering if it's now. I had the opportunity to interview on Funny Science Fiction, my other podcast. I had the opportunity to interview David Sobolov, who does Drax for the Marvel animated series. So I'm wondering if it was David Sobolov.
Yeah,
which he does some really good voiceover work.
It's got something. Hold on.
I'm glad that they gave what's his name, Seth Green, a lot more to do with Howard the Duck.
Yes,
right.
Well, now I have to watch it. So thanks, Mike.
Yo, you'll like it, Dan.
Oh, you'll like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you absolutely will like it. Did you finish
I'll
Loki,
like
Dan?
it like. No, I didn't.
Oh, you'd like that too.
Okay, I got a couple episodes in. It was okay.
Yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
Loki.
It gets weirder towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say episode 5 is the best one, just for what's his name, Richard E. Grant.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
Episode 5 is really good, just because
Oh,
I do like him as an actor, and so.
speaking of things being
I think it is Sobolov. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
shoveled to me for weirdness, I finally watched Mandy.
Oh, you did?
I actually bought it.
Nice.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, "Ooh, it's so weird. It's so out there." It's okay.
It might be because of the hype that
it's become one of those creative white noise movies for me where it's like I don't have to watch it to get invested in the story. Like it's a straightforward story, but I'll put it on if ever I'm feeling like a creative roadblock because
it's sad. I mean, it's okay. It's like somebody took the Lost Boys filter and just got crazy with it.
Oh,
like that's but yeah, I mean, slight spoilers.
What did you think of Cheddar Goblin though?
Which one was that?
It's the commercial that's playing when he's like
that was fun. I like that.
Cheddar Goblin's awesome.
But yeah, I really liked his Five Nights at Freddy knockoff better, really.
The Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, right? That was great. So
I mean, that's the thing too, is like with Nick Cage movies, it's like I like it a lot just because again, it is one of his minimal like roles where there's not a lot maybe going on character wise, but he makes that character interesting to watch at least. But that I can understand too how it's like it's too hypnotic. It can be too hypnotic to be like engaging for some folks. It's
like Mandy was just kind of boring.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's a lot of slow motion. That red filter is throughout the whole movie.
Like I really like the concept and the story's cool, but it's not enough to hold me for an hour and a half, or however long that movie was.
Did you get the reference? One of the bikers has the horn of Abraxas. At that point, I was expecting what's his name to show up.
Yeah. But the one part I really liked was when they just set her on fire because that was cool.
It was weird. It was it's trippy. Because I didn't think they were going to do it. I was like, he's going to save her. No.
Yeah, but apart from that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's okay.
It's fine. Yeah.
But
it reminds me a lot of
the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, ooh, wow, it's real cool. Like just go. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Go watch Lord of Illusions. I like that a lot better. for weird
Lord
trippiness
too. Yep.
It was Fred Tatasciore voice. Yeah, there you go. Voice track.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, he voices like Hulk a lot and stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Fred Tatasciore is an amazing voice artist. Very, very storied in what he does.
Yeah. He's on Lower Decks. Is anybody else watching Star Trek Lower Decks? Because you should.
No,
it requires a subscription that I don't want to pay for.
Yeah,
true.
So
Dan has that subscription though. Dan has access to that subscription.
Yeah. I just like how often do I use my access to subscriptions that aren't actually ones that I pay for?
Yep. There's I don't know. Yeah, in terms of like original stuff. I'm definitely delving into a lot more of that, but in terms of like IP related stuff, aside from What If, just because it's a half-hour commitment, that's fine. But it's just I watched Reminiscence this weekend.
Ooh,
how was it?
That Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson movie.
Is that any good?
I very much had the same response that you had to Mandy. I'm like,
okay,
I'm like, this is a cool idea. I like kind of the world building more than the actual plot. And visually, there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening, but also it kind of just goes nowhere. And the mystery isn't really as engaging as the world because it takes place in like Florida, where Florida is half underwater. So like, 5 years from now. And it's cool how like they set up that where like the upper echelon of people are like walled up from everyone else. Like they have dams and stuff keeping them dry, and everyone else is in the lower tiers of the city where there's flooding and and they use this technology. It's from some of the people who did Westworld. So
okay,
I kind of dug it. I dug that idea and the concept more than the actual story. Acting wise though, it's fine. Hugh Jackman's good. Rebecca Ferguson's like the best part of it because she knows she's in like an old school noir type movie, so she plays that up as the femme fatale. But
did anybody watch Free Guy?
No.
Oh, you guys are missing.
I mean, Max did.
Yeah, and I did too. You guys are missing something special. This movie is Ryan Reynolds. Like this movie could not have been anybody else but Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi. It is funny. It's the funniest thing I've seen in the theaters in probably 20
Hmm.
years. I laughed from start
Wow.
to finish. Yes, start to finish.
From the titles.
Dude, it's great. And then so I texted Max after I saw it. I'm like, I want to see this movie again. You got to go see it. Max didn't really want to see it. He wasn't super excited about this movie. And Max's review is, I give Free Guy 4 out of 5. Feel good movie of the summer. Almost Zootopia levels of happiness with a hint of Truman Show. I completely agree with that. Free Guy is charming. It's what we need post the pandemic. Some really funny cameos and jokes. It's Ryan Reynolds doing what you like Ryan Reynolds doing.
Post-pandemic?
Yeah.
We're still kind of in
I was asking.
You know what I mean.
Minor technicality on your yeah.
It is the feel good movie of the year. I understand maybe not wanting to go see it in theaters, but as soon as it reaches on demand or some way that you can watch it from your house, you should. It is fantastic. Max gives it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think I've liked the movie this much in theaters since I saw the first Ace Ventura, and you guys know how much I love that movie.
Max pretty well hates everything, so for him to give something 4 stars usually means
I will say
he craps on everything. So love you, Max, but yeah, you do.
I got worried because I can usually tell when Max is going to like something. I'm like, I know he's going to like this, and then when we were talking about it, he's like, I don't really want to see it. And then the fact that he did go, so I still know my friend. Like, I'm glad that I still know my friend. Like, I knew he was going to like it, and he did, and I cannot wait to see it again. I'm probably going to see it 4 or 5 more times, like soon.
If it had come out on, being able to watch it at home, I probably would have watched it already. But
yeah,
I have to be a little more cautious because of my daughter. So we haven't. My daughter is autoimmune, so I have to be cautious of where we go. So going to the movie theater for us right now is not really an option.
Gotcha.
Totally understandable.
So
no, I get it. 100%. I get it. I'm just so glad to see Ryan Reynolds kind of starting to make like movies that are more wider audience enjoys, because I love Just Friends, I love Waiting, and I love everything Ryan Reynolds has ever done. But I can understand that the movies have not always been of quality. So I'm glad that we're starting to get the quality.
How do you list off Ryan Reynolds' movie accomplishments without listing Deadpool?
Well, because that's one we love. I was naming the ones that are a little less.
Okay. I'm just making sure you're like, yeah, there's these other movies, and I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm like,
I will say,
nope, no Deadpool. Why are you not mentioning that? Anyway, okay.
I do have a soft spot for Waiting, just because.
Waiting.
I love Waiting.
That's very relatable to my old catering job. So yeah.
And frankly, I love Just Friends. I think it's hysterical.
So do I.
Oh, that movie cracks me up.
I've lived that movie before. I mean, I'm sure we all have lived that movie.
The chubby white guy? Yeah, you're telling the chubby white guy. Yeah, I get it.
I meant the Just Friends zone.
We could just start listing movies he's not in as Ryan Reynolds movies. Like, I really loved him in The Princess Bride and Gremlins. Those are my favorite Ryan Reynolds movies.
In terms of endearment and age of innocence, man. Classic Ryan Reynolds.
Best ever, Cocoon 2.
Oh, yes.
Dude, he carried that movie.
Das Boot.
He was really good.
He totally carries Das Boot, man. Like, man,
could you imagine
nobody can show paranoia on a submarine better than Ryan Reynolds?
Could you imagine The Night Porter with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh God,
how much more awkward would that be?
Oh, that'd be great.
Anyway, Tim, you brought up a good point about the movie theaters and stuff, because this was also this past week where Denis Villeneuve was talking about, like, if the box office isn't strong for Dune Part 1, he's not doing Part 2 and stuff, and it's kind of like. Yeah, I had a post about this earlier in the week where it's like, I'm torn on this because I like that he's acknowledging, look, it's not the audience's fault that they don't want to go to the movies because, virus, but also like he's kind of like having this looming threat over, which I can't say is unreasonable because, the movie's got to make its box office in order for it to be a successful franchise that you want more of. But at the same time,
that's saying like seeing Dune on your personal TV is like watching.
He's being a little Nolan-y. He's being a little bit like
that's annoying.
He's being a little bit like you have to see it on the big screen in order to really appreciate it.
Oh my!
Wow. Okay. Anyways,
I was just like,
this is. I mean, a little elitist, I want to say, just because.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Let's
Go ahead, Tim.
No, you're fine. I was agreeing with you. It's a little elitist, but I also, to some degree, I see his point. I mean, these guys who are making movies, they're making movies because they want them to be seen in a movie theater. They want it to be seen with the movie theater sound quality, the movie theater picture quality, and that ambiance that comes with only being in a theater. Yeah. But on the other hand, you also have to acknowledge the state and time in which you're in, and the fact that it's not. For many people, whether you're a COVID denier or you accept the fact that we are where we're at in time, you have to acknowledge that there are going to be people who are going to stay home regardless because they can't take the risk, or they're not comfortable for whatever reason. And so why aren't you making your movie accessible to everybody at that point? How they choose to watch it is how they choose to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is being accessible because it's going to be on HBO anyways too, which is great. But also, like, I hate that he can't just keep it as like, it sucks that this is the time that it's in. I feel this sense of like a little bit of pressure from him to be like, well, I hope you can weather through it to go to the theater and see it, and it's at some point, and it's just kind of like, yeah, but dude, the regular moviegoer's experience at the theater isn't probably what you get. It's like,
also,
go ahead, Dan.
I have a problem with people saying, "Oh, you got to see it on the big screen with the good sound," because you're not even using film anymore, asshole. See, I used to be a projectionist. You put together 35 millimeter and you put it in there, but now it's digital. And guess what I have in my movie watching room? Probably the same tech that you've got, and almost as good sound. So suck it.
I'll put a movie on at home, on my 50-inch television with my surround sound and sound bar, and if I want to blow out my neighbor's windows, I will. And I'll have just as good a time. Sure, I'll miss the movie theater popcorn a little bit. That's always, for whatever reason, that's always a little bit different, but
Well,
and also, because you don't have like cell phones going off in the middle of the theater. You don't have. I remember this very clearly back when Expendables 2 came out, and I went to like the opening weekend. I went to a matinee, and the matinee was packed. And this couple brought in their newborn, and I'm just like, boy. Oh, this will be fun. Not because I'm like, oh, well, the kid's gonna be brat, but just because it's an Expendables movie with a lot of loud noises. Yeah. And within the first, minute of the movie, the kid is screaming because it's overstimulated. I'm just like, I feel bad for that kid. You just ruined that kid's day a little bit.
Yeah, that was not the movie to bring a child to.
I also feel bad for the rest of the people in the movie because you never should have brought your kid there.
Yep. Oh, they left. They left immediately. They're like, this wasn't a good idea. I'm like, you think?
Yeah, no shit.
And the other benefit of watching a movie at home, in all honesty, is if somebody farts, I know who did it.
That's also true.
I'm not playing, guess, try to find the embarrassed face.
Got it. It's me. Unless the dog's there and the dog's just like,
right. Exactly. See, my dog usually chooses to do that and like waddles right in front of a fan and then drops some stank and then walks away and looking at you like, yeah, that's for you, big boy.
That's what you get for not seeing it in the theater.
Come see Dune in smell-o-vision.
Well, that's what it's going to smell like and sound like.
Smell the worms.
Yeah. Oh no, that's what the spice smells like.
Yeah.
You'll be wondering like, why is everyone all about this spice? Why is everyone about the melange?
I will actually probably end up watching Dune if it's on HBO, just because I already have an HBO subscription because of all the DC content. But the chances are, I'm going into it suspiciously because I have hated the other Dune movies so voraciously, and I can't.
Never watched.
I have watched them. It was Kathleen who hadn't gotten past the 30-minute point.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's not wrong. There's not much really happening good after the 30-minute point, or even before the 30-minute point.
There's all kinds of awesome stuff.
There's some
all
awesome
through that thing. You got the Guild Navigator guy, and you got
that dude is weird looking.
You got Sting. You got the flying dude pulling people's heart plugs out. It's great.
I will say, 1984 Dune is another one of my creative white noise movies where I don't need to be like watching it
No.
like shot for shot, but it's cool. It's cool, like creative fuel to have on in the background. The sci-fi William Hurt miniseries, it takes a little bit to get through because that's long.
Yeah.
It's a long miniseries.
Have you ever watched Children of Dune, the one after that?
No, I never. The James McAvoy.
Because I have that.
That's the one with James McAvoy on it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Cool.
I don't know, like that was really hard to get through.
Hi, Samantha. What are your thoughts on Dune?
Hi. What are we talking about?
We were talking about how awful the movie Dune is and how the new one's going to suck.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Fires here.
Why is Tim here?
Because you love me, Dan. Just admit it.
Oh, we can fix that. There we go.
There. Oh yeah. Oh, he's back again.
Yes.
How you doing,
back.
Samantha?
I'm
Back
doing well.
again.
How are you guys?
Good. I want to thank you again for doing the fundraiser with us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So what was it you wanted to talk to us about today? I'm really excited to hear about this.
Okay, so exciting life update. I entered a contest on Instagram, actually, but it's called The Opening Act, and it's a competition to open up for the Hollywood Bowl in October of this year. And the winners before have opened up for artists like Lizzo and Taylor Swift, so it's a big deal. But you win through votes, and right now, I think there's different groups in the competition. In my group, I'm in 4th place, which is pretty good. I'm happy with that for now. But I'm trying to get as many votes as I can, and I'm posting it all over Facebook and Instagram, on TikTok, things like that, just to see how far we can get. And if we can win, that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, I don't know if the other guys have heard your song yet or not, but Justin and I are huge fans of Samantha, and her very great vocal talent. So everybody, please go vote on Instagram. And so what have you been up to besides that? Like, what's going on?
Well, I took the LSAT for the first time. It didn't go as expected, but that's okay. I'm gonna try again. Gonna start my last semester of college on Tuesday, so that's a little crazy. Been kind of reflecting. It's a little sad, but I'm excited for the future. I think that it's going to be good to kind of have a little bit of time before I start applying to law school to focus on music. So my plan right now is to take a gap year, really focus on music, do as much as I can there, and then start another cycle of school. Thinking Nashville right now, but I'm not quite sure. But how have you guys been? What have you guys been up to?
This is what we do. I've been seeing a girl. It's been really cool, and talking about it on this podcast. I'm sure she loves how open I am about our relationship online.
Sooner or later, he's actually going to meet her in person. He's going to put down the binoculars and go say hi.
No, they go to bookstores. That's where we got the
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I have
virtually on the phone, Mike.
I have to give Jason a hard time. If I don't, my day is not complete.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, though.
So, Samantha, tell me a little bit about your music, since I'm one who's not familiar with you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your music. What do you sing? What can I look forward to in your music?
Yeah, so I've been playing music since I was younger. I started taking singing lessons and guitar when I was 4 or 5. And I always just loved to sing, but I started seriously writing songs when I was about 14. And I would say it's like probably mostly a blend of country and pop.
Okay.
I'm from South Carolina, so I've got a little bit of a twang. I don't know if you can. Sometimes people can hear it, sometimes people can't. My parents are from New England, so it's like a very weird accent.
Every once in a while, at the end of one of your words, you get a little southern drawl, and I get you.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that comes out in my songs too. My song I would say that is most listened to is called Underwater.
Okay.
And that was just re-released. Stuart Epps reproduced it. He's over in the UK, and he's worked with some really, really awesome artists as well. So it was such a cool opportunity working with him, especially over quarantine when there hasn't been a lot of live music, going on where I live. But I've been doing a lot more live music now since some of the protocols have been lifted. I don't know if that's going to stay in place because of the Delta 8 variant, but we're going to take it day by day and see what happens. But I have music on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. I have a TikTok channel now, so that's exciting.
Excellent.
Got to stay current with these kids now that I'm, an adult. So
Why we have Samantha here, I'm going to play a performance that she did for us for the fundraiser a few weeks ago. So everybody check that out and we'll be right back.
Hi everyone,
Awesome.
my name is Samantha Gaton. Tonight I'm going to be playing my original song, Underwater, for you. And hello to the Milby family. I hope that you guys are doing all right, and I hope that you all love this song. Thanks for having me tonight.
Standing in the dark, another day, another scar. You had me out coming. Had me thinking I was floating, didn't know that I was drifting away. No, yeah, you put me in the water, didn't tell me you were out in the way. I have my sound, never afraid of speaking out till my words were taken. And I couldn't find my way, stuck in a maze with no escape, I was always changing. Oh, had me thinking I was dreaming, didn't know that I was wide awake. Yeah, you put me through the ringer, didn't tell you I was feeling the pain. So when the waves came crashing down, I had to figure it all out. I was underwater. So when I washed up on the shore with nothing left of you or yours, finally free from you. Had me thinking I was floating, didn't know that I was drifting away. Yeah, you put me in the water, didn't tell me you were out in the way. So when the waves came crashing down, I hadn't figured it all out. I was underwater. And when I washed up on shore with nothing left of you or yours, finally free from you. Oh, so when the waves came crashing down, I hadn't figured it all out. I was underwater. So when I washed up on shore with nothing left of you or yours, finally free from you. Thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great night. Please go check out the GoFundMe on my Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook stories. And I hope to see y'all soon.
Wow, thank you for playing that. It's so weird
Absolutely.
watching myself.
You got a hell
Fantastic.
of a voice, I gotta say.
Yeah, that you have a beautiful voice.
Thank
honestly.
you so much.
So one of the things that maybe these guys don't know as much about me. I come from a very musical background, very musical family, and music is kind of like my second calling in life.
Do you
Although
sing, Tim?
not very well, but yeah, I can. But
sing us a song, Tim. I want to hear your musical background.
It's not going to happen. So anyway, no, but what I'm saying is I always pay very close attention to people's voices when they're singing, the way that they carry the tone and note of their voice. And honestly, you have just an absolutely beautiful tone to your voice. So I am ecstatic to see where you go, and I voted for you. Go get them.
You.
Go win that thing.
Oh, thank you guys so much. It's awesome seeing you guys again, but thank you for allowing me to come and talk a little bit more about music and everything like that. That's awesome that you also have a musical background. It's just such a nice way to connect with people. You know, that's what I love the most about it. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
how's your friend, by the way?
What's that?
How did the GoFundMe go?
It went well. He is at home now. He's doing all of the spleen and pancreas stuff out of outpatient for now. He might have to go back because he's not doing super hot right now, but he's home. He's home with his family, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear he's back with his family, but I hope everything gets better.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, and you're welcome on our show to promote anything you want to promote moving forward.
Thanks.
We're really glad to be a part of your journey.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm happy to be here with you guys, and next time we'll have to talk a little more true crime because I've got some new thoughts on stuff. Because we talked about that last time.
Mike's over here like, yes, please, let's do that.
I've been wanting to get some more true crime in here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm always cool with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get you scheduled. Pretty free in September, so we'll talk. But real quick before you go, what is the TV show or movie that you're geeking out about right now? Since this is a geek podcast.
It's actually it's another podcast. It's on Spotify called Morbid, and they talk about really famous criminal cases, and they also do some like listener tales. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it, but I started getting into podcasts since I've been listening to y'all's, and I was like, this is kind of interesting. You know, it's nice to just like listen. But I have so many like new fun facts about it's awful, but, like serial killers now. It's crazy. Like it's interesting to listen to. You know what I mean? But creepy, so creepy. But
well, now you just have a better idea of what to look out for now.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah. Last time I was here, we were talking about Criminal Minds and all those shows. So, yeah.
you know, I just finished Criminal Minds, and I got to say that is, and it's no offense, I know you really like the show, and I enjoyed the show too. But it's like a mediocre show with an amazing cast.
Yeah.
And I thought the final season, when they finally started doing more serialized storytelling, that it was actually really good. And I heard that they're talking about bringing it back where they do a whole case over the span of 8 episodes.
Really?
And if they do that, oh my God, I think it could be one of the best shows on television. But
is that the one with D'Onofrio?
No, that was the one with
Mandy
Patinkin was on
Criminal
it.
Intent. Sorry, I'm
and then Mandy Patinkin was on it, and then he was
and the dude from Dharma and Greg.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
Fantastic cast.
Oh, I think the cast makes it 1,000%. I mean, I love all of them. They're great. I love them. But yeah, we'll have to really talk about that again sometime soon. Always down.
All right, Samantha, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was great to see y'all and nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah, I hope y'all have a great afternoon.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
That's awesome. Justin and I have been privileged to meet some fantastic musicians over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, she's got a wonderful voice, really. I wasn't just saying that just to butter up. She very soothing tone to her voice.
Nuanced. There we go.
Yes. Ooh.
It was actually
we're whipping out the word of the day.
I was having flashbacks back to I used to live in New York City, and so you'd see a lot of shows, you'd see a lot of music.
Okay.
And it reminded me a lot of these shows I would go see, like these singer-songwriter based shows, which are some of my more favorite shows to go see because it's not too hectic, you know, there's not a lot of noise going on. People actually focus in and listen to the songwriter. And it's like
it was really cool because that was our first live performance on a live broadcast, and I hope to do more of that somewhere down the line.
I'm surprised it recorded so well, honestly.
Oh yeah, the recording
Yeah,
was
the
clean.
sound quality was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was live. I thought she had recorded that and gave it to you to play.
No. Oh,
I did not realize that was live. Even when it was on during the fundraiser, because I was watching for most of that. I mean, I took very few breaks to try and support everyone that was on, make sure that there was content for people to talk about and things like that, and get myself blocked by Facebook along the way. It was awesome, but yeah, no, I even then I thought that was a pre-recorded segment that she had done. I didn't realize it was. I think I'd walked away for a couple minutes, came back to her singing, and was like, "Oh wow, that's cool that she recorded that."
Today on the Three Geeks channel, we have the Perfect 10, which I will be a guest star on. We're doing top 10 quotes from movies, so you can expect a lot of Three Amigos and Cable Guy on there just for George, because we know that George loves those films, and it'll be fun hanging out with George for an hour and Clint.
Can we do our top 5 for next week?
Sure, what do you want to do it on?
Because we've been teasing that for a while. No, the same thing that they're doing.
Oh.
When can I ever do my Patton impression? Come on, man.
I'm all for this. I will be back next week if there's a Patton impression from Dan.
See, there you go.
That was movie speeches. That's what we were going to do, not quotes.
Well, I mean,
Patton. I mean, yeah, it's a Patton.
It's the same thing, JC.
That's true. That is true. I'll have to get my speeches loaded up in my queue over here. But yeah. So we're cutting the show a little short today. Oh, do you guys want to talk more?
I mean, we can.
We can.
We have so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, you brought up true crime. I just heard the tale of Killdozer, and that's amazing.
Yeah, I'd heard about Killdozer. It's like that's wild that went as far as it could. It's like,
it has a sad ending, but still.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Most of these true crimes,
yeah. They don't end well. That's why it's true crime, but
hollows you out in the end. But it's a wild trip getting there.
Yeah.
Yes, George. Send me the logo.
Ooh, yeah. Because we don't want to put your outdated stuff up.
Yeah, George has joined our not network.
I like the not network actually. I think it works well.
Yeah, I help nothing with your show, and you just get to broadcast it on my.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's a lot less work involved.
Stay off the grid, or you're on the grid, but
yeah, I mean we're kind of on YouTube.
Yeah,
video.
We're all on the grid from day one now. So.
But we really are going to be cutting it short today. Tim, check out Tim and Funny Science Fiction and Pulp Culture Addicts. I have sushi lunch that I really want to eat before it goes bad. Tim,
it's already gone bad.
About Jason. All of the fun stuff.
Oh, okay. So let's see.
Funny and science. We're out of time, everybody.
Would you look at that? I was just going to say how awesome Jean-Claude Van Damme isn't. So no,
yes.
No, so Funny Science Fiction, you can find us on YouTube. Please go subscribe. We'll take all the subscriptions we can get, of course. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. We just had an amazing interview, and it'll be coming out not this week, I believe next week. Don't quote me on that. But we just interviewed Daniel Jose Older, who is the lead story architect for Star Wars: The High Republic, and had a really cool chat with him.
Can we talk about that for a second, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we got to cut this shit short. Come on, man. You got sushi to eat.
Your fish is
talking about the cultural impact.
Yeah,
eventually, yeah.
The cultural impact of Star Wars.
But you actually had to get approval from Lucasfilm. Like,
yes.
I don't think we've interviewed anybody like that's so relevant that we have to get approval from a studio. Like, what was that experience like?
I may have already laminated the email responses and posted it on my wall. No, it was actually really cool. It was also kind of nerve-wracking because, you knew that there was lines that you couldn't cross. There was things that I could not ask about. So and there was things that we had to talk about in generalities. Like when it comes to the High Republic and some of the things that because he's in charge of world building, he's naming planets and characters and creatures and all this stuff. I mean, he's building the High Republic. and I mean, he's not the only guy. Please don't take it that way. And he even makes that clear that he's just the lead, but there are other people that he's working with and other story writers that he's working with that are helping him to build this extended universe. And it's really kind of cool, but we had to speak in generalities about some of these things. And it was really kind of nerve-wracking to put questions together to send out to Lucasfilm for approval. I've never had to do that with any other interview that we've done. It's always, we've had other people on who have, we talked with Anna Graves, who was the voice of Duchess Satine in Clone Wars. We talked with Julie Dolan, who was the voice of Princess Leia in Star Wars Rebels and some other Disney Lucasfilm holdings. We've never had to get approvals for anything. And so writing questions that, to make sure that they would all pass inspection was kind of like, you start writing your question, there's things I want to ask. I'm like, and delete. So yeah, so it even kind of limited some of our, because sometimes, we go in with an outline. Everybody knows their questions, what they want to ask ahead of time. But we also do it where we go off that. I ask a lot of questions off the cuff. That's just the outline is just that. It's just so that we have an outline of our discussion, what we want to talk about.
That's not what I hear. I hear that you beat anybody that asks a question that's not on your outline.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. But
slander.
You can't trust Nick. He doesn't, No. Nick's a good dude. I like to pick on him though. But so there was a limitation of even that, the off the cuff questions. Hey, I just thought of this. I had to make sure that even those questions, I had to dial some of those back and make sure that the questions, because that always happens when you're talking to somebody, they mention something, it springs up something in your head, and you want to ask that, but we had to be careful because we didn't want to push him, because he even jokes about how now that he's signed this contract with Lucasfilms, he's pretty sure there's drones outside his house listening.
Such a calming thought.
right? Yeah, he's signed on to a pretty big machine down there.
Yeah.
And they're coming up with some cool stuff and they're coming up with some cool content, but he's got to be extremely careful about what he says and how he says. But it's a really, really cool interview, and I am very excited to have that. And that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. We just had an interview with a young lady named Abby Harrison, also known as Astronaut Abby. She's working very hard to become the first person to step on Mars.
And Carol Baskin.
Well, that's actually on Pop Culture Addicts. That's coming up. Our very first interview on Pop Culture Addicts is with Carol Baskin. Yes.
Oh, as soon as I can get her, she's coming to the 3 Geeks podcast as well.
Did your questions have to be vetted for Carol?
No.
Okay, because yeah.
But in case you're wondering, no, we did not talk about. We talked very little about Tiger King, and we talked very little about the accusations that have been raised by the meth head who's now in prison. Because honestly, if you watch Tiger King and you got your information from that, it's a very one-sided meth leaning interview and documentary. However, there's another one called Shooting Joe Exotic from the BBC.
At least meth addict. Like, he is at least a meth addict.
I'm sure there's more there.
But I thought that was like rigorous journalism at its best.
It is.
I mean, come on.
Oh,
I think
Tiger
it's
King?
safe to say a lot of people don't come off well. No.
No, I don't think there's anybody in that. If you watch Tiger King, there wasn't one person where you watch that and go, that was a really good description of that person's moral capabilities and character.
I would let them watch my children.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know, like the one dude that shows up in the cowboy hat that was just like doing the filming and shit. He was just like, I don't know, shit happened, I got out of there. See ya.
When one of the realest people on your show is the guy who used to kill for Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, that's also
right.
true.
Yeah, but it was a really cool interview. We talked about how pop culture affected her life, because as soon as that show was over, she, in her own words, her phone rang for about 3 months straight with death threats.
Oh,
she got death threats nonstop, getting phone calls, emails, text messages from people saying the most vile and wicked things that you could ever imagine to her, because they believed what they saw on Tiger King. And if that's not an indication of the moral compass of the world that we live in, I don't know what is. But it's kind of interesting. We had, like I said, it was a really cool discussion. We talk about how that impacted her is because it's not just her. She's like, if it had just affected me, I could have sloughed it off. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But it affected her family as well. You know, her husband, she has a daughter, you know, all these other things. Just there's a lot going on there. And we talk about a bill that she's trying to get. And this is another reason why this was so slanted against her. She's working very hard to shut down animal rescues, including her own. She wants to be unemployed. And she's trying to get a bill passed where they can't do big cat breeding. And so people who are against this big cat breeding are very openly and angrily against what she's doing. So
you can go to 3 Geeks Big Cat Breeding. Max and I are starting that very, very soon. And,
yeah. We got some big cats. Just give us a call.
I got a big cat at home. He's just fat, but he thinks he's a big cat.
The day that you guys seriously consider that as some sort of venture, please remove all my Mike McGTV affiliations.
Oh, no. It's going to be.
Speaking of, you could check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV.
It's going to be shaved on the sides of the big cats, dude. Come on.
But
God damn.
Yeah, so we've had some really cool things. I just got confirmation from a couple other people. I've got some really cool interviews coming up on pop culture. I'm very excited about. So yeah. It looks like we'll be talking to Stephen Perkins, the drummer from Jane's Addiction, nice. Which I'm a huge Jane's Addiction fan. I'm a child of the 90s, love 90s music. Grunge era needs to live forever. And yeah, I'm like 17 shades of yeah. Fortunately, the email came in while we were playing Samantha's song, so nobody got to see me totally geek out and giggle. And hopefully my mic was muted.
It was.
Oh, that's good, because you would have heard me back here just giggling away. But yeah, so there are a couple other really cool people. So I'm really excited about some of the people. So
you can also check the 3 Geeks podcast and Funny Science Fiction at the Monroe Pop Fest next month. Also with John from the PVD cast and Brian Lau from Staunch Ambition. And maybe I'll try to get Mike involved via satellite for a Remake Revolution.
We gonna Zord on this thing again?
That'd be fun.
Hey, and just for confirmation, it definitely was Fred Tatasciore. I just got a text back from David Sobolov. So
nice.
Awesome. And from all of us, guys, have a fantastic day. We will see you next Sunday.
Recycle.
Your droids.
Yes, recycle your droids.
All of the droids. Recycle them.
Be sure to bundle them. Be sure
Yes.
to bundle them in 2x4 squares with the twine.
Also, tumble dry.
And leave them out only on the third Thursday of every month.